welcome to this video. Today I'll be showing you how to play the song Golden by Jill Scott on the guitar. Now there's no guitar on the track, it's only Fender Rhodes, so we'll be adapting the Rhodes part to the guitar. In addition, I'll also share some insight on how I approach playing in a band with no keyboard player, so if the guitar is the only comping instrument. It could have a tendency to sound a little bit empty at times, so I'll give you some tips and some strategies in terms of effects, gear, how to set up these effects so that it sounds more full on stage. So click on the link to grab the tabs and let's jump right in. Alright, so first I'm going to show you the chords of the song which are being played by the Fender Rhodes, and then I'm going to show you how to adapt those chords to the guitar, mainly in choosing the right range of the guitar. So the chords are E flat minor 9, D flat major 7, B major 7, B flat minor 7, and then A flat major 7, G flat major 7, F minor 7, and then back to E flat minor 7. So I'll play it once for you slowly. So that's the chord progression. Now the fun starts when you start to improvise and change a little bit of the chord voicing. So for example, your major 7 chords, you can play them as major 9. So there I chose a D flat major 9 in this voicing. You can hammer on like this. Another major 9 voicing could look like this. So this would be our D flat major 9. It's a nice sounding one. It does not have the root in it. So that would sound. Alright, so you can try that. Now if you are into this type of guitar playing, R&B guitar, jazz, funk, soul, well then I encourage you to subscribe to this channel because that is my area of expertise. For your B flat minor 7, you can play B flat minor 9 like this. So you would get this. That's a nice voicing for an A flat major 9. Yes, I'm using my thumb because it's easy. Chances are you'll be playing with a bass player, so you can just avoid the bottom note altogether. And just play that. That's a great voicing for a major 9. In this case, G flat. Alright, so you get the idea. The idea is to mix and match your favorite voicings. This one works well for F minor. It's an F minor 11. Now in regards to the sound, if you want to replicate the sound of the Fender Rhodes, I'm using, of course, some reverb and delay. You can hear it there, an 1/8 note delay and a dotted 1/8 note delay. But what's most important, I find, is to have a little bit of tremolo in your sound. You can probably hear it waving there. Now, I had mentioned earlier that the ideal range to replicate the Rhodes would be in the mid to low register. Now, this is true, but you can also explore the higher register of the guitar to add dynamics, variety, and to build your arrangement. So you can play the same chords up high in the neck. So what I'm doing there is that I'm playing the exact same chords, but this time only on the top 4 strings. So the first chord is E flat minor 9, and I'm going to play it like this. D flat major 7 right here. B major 7 right here. B flat minor 7. And then A flat major 7. G flat major 7, and then back to where we were for the F minor 7, and back home. Now I do have a video on my channel where I go over 14 chord voicings for a major 7 chord, so you can check that out, and then you can apply those major 7 voicings to this song, which is exactly what I'm doing. Now let's take a minute to talk about playing in a band where there's no keyboard player. So if the guitar is the only comping instrument, I find myself often in this situation here in Montreal. We often play guitar, bass, drums, vocals, or guitar, bass, drums, vocals, and sax, something like that. So if that's the case, well, the guitar really has to fill up the sound. And one way of doing this, and actually I always bring 2 amps to every gig, is to play in stereo. So this really helps spread the sound of the guitar on stage. Not necessarily with more volume, but just more presence. So yes, I always bring 2 amplifiers on the gig, which is a good idea anyway, just in case one amp decides to die, you're covered, you can make the gig. On my pedal board, the last pedal will be a stereo reverb, and I'll take the outputs of that and put them to the inputs of both amplifiers. So I don't play loud, I use 2 small amplifiers, usually 2 small Fender amps. That seems to get the job done. And the next step would be to add some effects. So as I mentioned, I have some delay here. So I always play with delay in my sound. Again, especially in stereo, it helps to make for a wider sound, and it makes the guitar more present, because that's what the guitar does not do so well, is sustain. The piano or a keyboard can sustain quite long, the guitar cannot. So having some reverb and having some delay goes a long way. I mentioned earlier, for a song like this, I would use a little bit of tremolo just to sort of help replicate the sound of the Rhodes. And in terms of my delay, I don't put the mix too loud. I just keep it so that it's present and that it doesn't get in the way if I play single note lines. Yeah, so just something to help you achieve a more thick, more present sound on stage. You don't want your single note lines again to be drowned in sort of a sea of delay. That's not good. And I often try to record my sound checks just a little bit so that you can get an idea of what your guitar sounds like in the room. Alright everybody, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.